Yes, hello, our viewers. Again, this is our second winner of the Go Digital Grant. Her name is really, really tricky, but at least I've learned Omolewa. Omolewa.
Omolewa.
Omolewa. How do I pronounce the other one?
Yeah, you can just call Lewa. You can just say Lewa.
Olewa.
Yes.
So uh, she's an incredible woman, lady from Nigeria, all the way from Nigeria. And
Yes.
she's leading an organization called Africa Raisers Initiative, right?
Yes. Yes.
That's a good name. And we are really gonna hear from her story, how she has come up with this organization, where they are at, and where they are going. And so, congratulations, my sister, Lewa, because I cannot pronounce it, Lewa.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Going through the digital grant. For those who don't know about era92, we are a youth creative agency, a social enterprise model, and we train and employ young adults in design, arts, and technology. So, Lewa, if you don't know, we train young people from the slums, and then we train them to become world-class, developers and graphic designers. And these are the people that right now are really giving it back to other organizations that are doing incredible work like yours. So the model is just basically to train and then employ, and then others that go through the program, some of them start their own small businesses, others are placed in other organizations. So we thought that, okay, we're digital agents, we empower young people, but how about organizations, that are really dying to go online to start their presence, and then even to get exposed to get even to make even a greater impact. And that's why we started the Gold Digital Grant, because the pandemic showed us that the world is going digital, and we have to. So this is our, extension of love, service to organizations like yours who are doing amazing work to make Africa great again. And so congratulations again, and I'm happy, for you to become part of our family.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. So we're gonna dig into our, conversation, because I think people are really eager to learn about you. Another thing, you're a lady, and so there's so much this vibe about women empowerment, and you're a good example. So we need to hear about your story and where you come from and how you were able to come up with the Africa Raisers Initiative.
Okay. Thank you very much. I must say thank you for this opportunity. I don't take it for granted. I'm so glad. I was not expecting this. Honestly, I wasn't. I just applied and said, okay, if it works and if it doesn't. So I
Yeah.
was surprised to get it. Thank you very much. So Africa Raisers Initiative is a very young organization. I think I mentioned that in the grant.
Yeah.
We started in February this year,
Wow.
February 2020. Yeah. Actually, what inspired me to start Africa Raisers Initiative was I just looked around and I saw that we had leaders, right? But we didn't have leaders that were enough. Now I'm going to explain. When I was in my final year in the university, I did a course on nation building. And when I did nation building, it opened my eyes to some realities about Africa, because it was like nation building in third world countries. You understand, like most African countries. So when I took that course, it opened my eyes to a lot of things. And I began to see that the nation building process is beyond just, being at the top. Is beyond economics, is beyond political power and all of that. It goes deep into the society. It goes deep into the mindset, the character, the behavior of people. And because the society does not really give much thought to this, That is why we raise up, we raise leaders who at the end of the day turn to be corrupt, unpatriotic, and all of that. So I thought another thing was that I realized that the older generations, for example, if I asked my mother if she thinks Africa can be better again, she would say no because of what she has seen. Now, I'm using my mother as an example because I'm just using that to portray other people, other older people, because they have had hopes in the time past, which has been dashed. So I figured if we could try to catch the little ones young, our youth, when they can still, when their minds can still be shaped to believe, oh, something good can still come out of Africa. And we train them to be those people that can bring that good out of it. So that was how Africa Raisers Initiative was born. And it was, at first, it was supposed to be just leadership development and nation building. But as time went on, I figured, why raise people to be leaders and we don't empower them? And that was what led to the concept about the skills empowerment, which is usually based on STEM. And it's STEM because, STEM is just a major part. We have other aspects we are looking to go into. And the reason why it's STEM is because we figured that the world now is ruled by technology. We must confess, artificial intelligence, everything, what we do on social media, at the background is artificial intelligence that is used to shape our behavior, our decisions. So that is why we actually said, okay, if we bring this empowerment together and also educate the ones we're empowering with leadership skills, we think it's going to go a long way in bringing out the Africa we want. It's not something we can see. To some people it's idealistic. It's not practical. But we have to do something. So that's what we are doing at Africa Raisers Initiative. We are raising nation builders who are able to develop Africa in all capacities, in all spheres of influence.
Yeah. I think I like that aspect because there is a friend of mine who said that the impact one leader can do in Africa can be experienced by or evidenced by what Nelson Mandela did. Just the impact of one leader in Africa could change the entire world. And so if we can put young people in positions where they can become leaders that are patriotic, who love their nations, who love their countries and not corrupted, as you say, I think African leaders have a lot of power. They can say, okay, let me print some more money, let me do this. So if we can use that power, we can have leaders who can use that power to make the world or our continent better. The rest will be history. And so I'm really excited about what you guys are doing. And definitely we have to actually even talk, because I have another organization called, the New Africa. And this is like a special purpose vehicle that umbrellas everything we are doing with our organizations. And so we'll discuss in depth, and maybe we can have you on a podcast with the New Africa podcast to see that we can take this message across, because the thing is that we have to support each other like never before for us to make a profound impact. And unless we are together, we cannot make the impact that you're really looking at. So I'm encouraging my sister here just to hear that this is your heart, because just the impact one leader can do in Africa is incredible. And so if we can raise millions of leaders in Africa, then the whole continent will be huge and big. So that takes me to, I've heard that you've been in operations for since February. The
Yes.
leaders, our viewers would be interested to see, have you done any kind of impact yet, or you just, where are you at with you, and what can you show, or what can you tell the people that you've done?
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, that was one of the reasons why I applied for this grant,
Yeah.
because unfortunately, our organization was birthed in the coronavirus pandemic. And so we've not really been able to have face-to-face interactions with our target audience. But what we have been doing now is we have been really networking with other initiatives around, as well as other stakeholders. And we are also starting a program very soon, the Raisers Incubator Academy. It's going to be a 2-month course. Yeah, it's going to be a 2-month course for our target audience. We are going to enroll them in a course, and it's going to be leadership development. And after the 2 months, they are going to be awarded certificates. And as time goes on, we also intend to upgrade this course to an online course, which is one of the reasons why we have to build our online presence, especially our website. Yeah, so for now, what we do is we have been doing programs within ourselves to prepare ourselves for the task. We conduct in-house seminars for our volunteers, so that by the time we are fully ready to start, they are equipped enough for the work. And then we also have an online program, or should I say posts that we make regularly on our social media, which we call Dear Raiser. It's more of a letter to our target audience, and we tell them we just tell them things that we want them to know that are related to our programs. We tell them, for instance, you don't wait for you don't complain about what is wrong with Africa.
Yeah.
You try to look for something to do. So that's like, you don't sit back and complain, oh, something's wrong, okay, things are not going well. You sit down and look for what you can do. So if our viewers or you are able to look through our social media pages, you see all these things that I'm talking about. So and we don't have choice. We would have loved to reach out better. We've been trying to, but because we don't have our audience yet, we would have even tried to do some online programs, but because we haven't built our audience before the pandemic started, yeah, so that was why we didn't want to just shoot our shots to the wind without target and all of that. So we just try to maintain it, and while we prepare for the program, the Raisers Incubator Academy.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, and so that actually that answers my next question, which was like, how has the pandemic affected the operations, and how have you been able to navigate and survive? Many organizations that I know of have really closed doors, and they're out of operations because this thing shut down the entire world. And so
Yes.
I thought that there would be some lessons for you from you to learn how you've been able to, stay positive throughout the pandemic and see that, okay, there's hope after this. How has this affected you?
Okay. Like I said, it has affected us because it has really affected us because we started during the pandemic. I mean, we didn't know it was going to be such a we didn't know it was going to be such a big thing. We thought, okay, we will just be done with it in some months or weeks, and we'll go back. But surprisingly, it has just it's hard. And so one of the things I have been doing is just to make sure that the team is on track and we don't lose guard over what we're doing. I mean, it's one thing for us not to be able to work, and it's another thing for us to lose sight of what we are supposed to do. So one thing I've done is to make sure that the team is right on track, which is why we've been doing the in-house seminar I told you about earlier. So we conduct in-house seminars. Yes, we do in-house seminars. Currently we are trying to develop a curriculum for online course where every African youth, including the ones in diaspora, can have access to it. But then as time goes on, I would it's my vision that we have ops across Africa, maybe in cities across Africa where we have just like our own place, our own corner where people can identify with Africa Raisers Initiative. Yes, so
that's amazing. That's amazing. And that, as you're talking about Africa, you know, I love Africa so much myself. And that's why we started this organization called the New Africa. And, you know, our vision is also in the same kind of areas. You know, we want to build one of the biggest domes, and it will be called the New Africa Dome. And what is going to happen in the dome is actually for us to build world-class talent in every industry: technology, farming, athletics, politics, everything, leadership and stuff like that. And so we are gonna build something incredible, and every person that will be coming, or every young person that will be coming out of this center, there will be world-class people that are just going into the world to make Africa great. Wow. And so, you know, we'll share in depth about that, you know, because I think it's in line with what you are doing. But most importantly, we would like to hear your vision for the New Africa. Because there's so many people who want to leave Africa right now. There's so many people who don't think you can make it in Africa. There are so many people who think we are doomed. And what's that vision that can inspire somebody to believe in our continent again? Because it's a great continent and everyone knows about it. Right now, at least 6 of the fastest growing economies are in Africa. And so why don't we as Africans, why don't we see this? Why do the people in the West have to say, hey, Africa is the next big thing? And first we are saying we have to run out of Africa to go and find asylum in another country. How can you inspire somebody to know that, tell them the vision, you know, that you see that we can be if we come together?
Okay. I mean, I think it's a general thing, but I'm just going to say it. I have a dream.
That's the way to start it.
You know, I have a dream where that there will be a day where Africa is going to be in a continent that, you know, now we are not that much to be reckoned with in the International Committee of Nations. Yeah, even if we get to the Security Council, we are non-permanent members. You know, it's so, yeah, I don't even know what to say. But I dream of an Africa where leaders, including leaders as well as followers, all lead. Now, this is the breakdown. Of course, all the people we are going to raise, not all of them will occupy political offices, right? But when even the citizens have leadership mentality, you know, when everybody they learn that integrity is key in whatever we do, you know, it's going to drastically reduce corruption, which is one of our major problems in Africa. So you know, in businesses, integrity is there. In in houses of worship, in every area of influence in the society, there is integrity. Everybody knows to everybody learns empathy. You understand, you put yourself in people's shoes, you know, and everybody just learns that everybody is psyched to love Africa. you're not looking for what you can gain. You know, the people that are going outside of Africa are actually looking for what they can gain, right?
Yeah.
So if we all stay and, you know, it's just about Africa, it's just about, we want this continent. And what actually drives me is, I just want to see there is something, I mean, more than the norm, more than what I grew up to see, there must be something about Africa. So I just want to see it. And thank God I'm still young. I hope I'm going to see it. So
Yes.
I just, I just want to see it. I want to see a day where Africa is not, you know, represented by a malnourished child, you know, big head, thin hands, big stomach. You know, it just has to change. The narrative has to change, and it can. But it has to start from the little things, the way we raise our children, for example. You know,
Yeah.
little things, because that's my belief. Nation building, it goes beyond politics or anything. Nation building goes way deeper into the way you teach and you bring up a child. You
Mm.
know, you don't teach a child to tell lies,
Mm-hmm.
because if you do, that child is going to grow up into a full-blown corrupt person.
Yeah.
And that is the same person that is still going to go and occupy political offices. So the problem is not about some sections of political officers or officials or anything. It's about us. It's
Yeah.
about the mindset that the society is breeding.
Yes.
And about the people that are going out of Africa, you know, I read something some weeks ago, when the murder of George Floyd happened in the United States.
Yeah.
I read something that the destiny of all Black people is actually tied to Africa.
Yeah.
If you leave Africa and you go to wherever in the Europe, America, wherever you leave Africa and you go there, you are still going to be seen as an African coming
Yes.
from an underdeveloped country.
Mm.
So you're accepted. You're not. You're
Yeah.
you're just kidding yourself.
Yeah.
It's never going to be the same. It's just never going to. And if the person is someone that loves dignity, if such people love dignity, for them to will be dignified everywhere they go, then they will learn to come back to Africa and make it better first before thinking of anything else.
That's the good. I know. I always like. I've been telling my friends. I like, yes. You know, if equality and Black Lives Matter movement being spread in the West, you know, in the United States, everywhere in Europe, if still people, Black people are the ones that are being represented as poor in Africa,
Yeah.
that's their origin. It's not gonna
Mm-hmm.
change much, because who will know that this guy is coming from Africa, or this is being grown up in the United States? We are all Black. And so unless the dignity starts from where they came from, and that's where they
Yes.
come and build. If they come back and we build our continent, every time here when I see a Black person, it's like, it's a Black person. I'm Black too. You know, there is no, I can't even call them Black in Africa. You cannot call someone he's a Black guy in Africa. You cannot use that terminology. What does that mean?
Yeah.
This is our home. This is their home. Unless you make it look nice, it won't. No one will be happy to represent it anywhere, and no one will be happy to lift us in any way. So, I mean, I think that's a very, very thoughtful thing, and I'm so happy, you know, just to share that with you. And definitely, we're gonna share a lot. You know, I was meant to come to Nigeria this year. I have a few other
Wow.
friends. Yeah, I have a few other friends that I was, you know, starting to, you know, collaborate. There's a thing called Josh. Is it Josh? Do you know Josh? Like Josh is
John. Oh.
Josh. Yeah,
Yes, John.
yeah,
John. That's blacklisted. Yeah. I
yeah.
know the
So I have
place. It's a
some
very beautiful place.
friends that I met early in February, you know, and they come from that side, and I will definitely come after this thing
Okay.
comes down, because Nigeria is one of those countries that are also representing us on a global scale, and you know, having friends from there means a lot. So now I have Lewa, you know. So what is
Of
more?
course.
Yeah, you know, as we're winding up our, you know, interview, it's been really amazing to share, you know, to hear from you what you've been doing. But I know many young ladies who want to start something, but they're afraid.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so the purpose of this is to encourage other social entrepreneurs, because in the journey that you're trying to fight for, the journey that you're on, you're going to need other people who are doing the same thing for you to
Yeah.
have the ripple effect, or to feel the impact.
Mhm.
And so how, as you as a social entrepreneur, how can you, what advice do you have for a young lady, you know, who has an idea, but maybe they're afraid to start? As you know, for you started, you know, during the pandemic, you're brave enough to stick into the game, you know. So how can you advise some young lady there who has a dream for Africa?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, my advice is, it's a popular saying, and it's just to start afraid. Even if you're afraid, just start. Just start. I literally threw myself into the wind when I started Africa Readers Initiative. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anybody. You know, it was just me, and I tried to design. You know, I designed some rough whatever to call for volunteers. I mean, I talked to some of my friends too who helped out, but you know, it was just me. Some people really didn't understand why I was doing what I was doing, but
Mm,
I didn't see myself doing anything else. So I can't go and kill myself with depression somewhere else. I'd rather do what I'm happy with and, you know, just face the consequences. So I started, and I got people who volunteered to be team members, you know, and we started talking, and it was just me, just that little girl. And
mm,
I just started talking to them, and, you know, today, these people, they actually understand the vision I carry.
wow.
It's been months, and you know, they just signed, you know, they just saw an opportunity. Oh, let me just join. And today they actually carry the vision, they understand it. And I didn't imagine how I could do that before I
Mm,
started.
mm,
I didn't even know I had some qualities until I tried to do some things. You know, you don't know when you have not started, you don't know what you're capable of doing if you don't start,
yeah,
right? And for every vision, I believe there is a provision. As long as it is a vital vision,
yeah.
as long as it's going to help humanity,
Mm,
there is going to be provision. When I started on my own, fast forward to now, I have people who are willing to support. You
mm,
know, I just talk to some people and they just take it up that way, and they call me, how's it going? What are you doing? You know, people that are like mentors. The board, the members of the board, you know, I just approach some people, and the way they take this thing is, at times I feel it's too much. I feel it's too strong than even I.
mm,
So for every vision, I believe there is a provision. So if you have a
wow.
vision, just throw yourself to the wind. Just try. It's better to try than to have regrets of not trying.